Okay, I wanted to do a short lecture on kind of graphing and slopes and such like that. First, we should know a few kind of vocab words. So, if we have just a graph here, we can call it a coordinate plane or a coordinate system, Cartesian coordinate plane, anything like that. So, plotting points on it, they always come in the form of x, y, okay? So then we should know which axis is which, right? The line here is the x-axis, the line here is the y-axis. Where they intersect is the origin, or 0, 0, okay? Now points, if we have for 1, how do we graph that? Well, we go 4 along the x-axis and up 1 on the y. So this would be 4, 1. Then what about negative 2, 0? We go negative 2 along the x-axis, and because it's 0, we don't go up or down any. It's just negative 2x and 0y, okay? So after that, we should talk a little bit about slope. Slope comes from 2 points. We will always need to have 2 points to write slope, okay, unless it's just given to us. But the form of the 2 points will be x1, y1, and x2, y2, so that we can write slope using m, okay, with y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, all right? Now it doesn't matter kind of that the 2's are first and the 1's are last or anything like that. It just matters that this is a point and this is a point, okay? And that your y's are on top of your x's, okay? We always need to rise before we can run, all right? Now, from this, we have 4 options for slope. We have positive slope, which could be written as just a positive number over a positive number, or a negative number over a negative number, okay? Now, of course, we should always simplify our slope as much as we can, otherwise it will be more difficult to graph it and possibly marked wrong in ALEX. So a negative over a negative should always just be a positive over a positive, but it does mean the same thing. Our next option is a negative slope. So that could be a negative out front of the fraction, a negative in the top of the fraction, or a negative in the bottom of the fraction. All of those are a negative number, okay? Our next option is 0 slope. How do we get 0 from a fraction, right? Let's think about that. We have a number over a number. If we put the 0 in the numerator or in the top, that would mean we have 0 parts of something, right? Well, that means we have 0 of something. So 0 over any number is 0 slope. Okay, there's only one way to write that one. Now the last one is undefined slope. What does it mean to be undefined, right? It means something, basically there's an issue with the fraction in this case. There's something that we don't understand, we can't do, something like that, okay? So if we're thinking about a fraction, well, that means if we put the 0 in the denominator, right? That would make it undefined. So we have any number being divided by 0 is an undefined slope. So what do these look like now? So going back to our basic graph, just kind of a slope or a line with these types of slope kind of anywhere on the graph, because we don't actually have specific lines or slopes that we're working with. We're just talking about positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Positive slope kind of looks like this, right? It goes up. We always read a graph or read a line or anything like that from left to right, just like we read a book, okay? So this is positive slope. Now, conversely, the negative slope just goes down, okay? Now, 0 and undefined. We need to think about those as rise and run, right? We have them written out as fractions, so 0 slope is 0 rise, but lots of run, right? So starting at a point, we don't go up any, but we run or have lots of x. So it just goes straight across, or that's a horizontal line, okay? So that means, what that is kind of a line of the structure of, well, we don't change our y, right? But we change our x's. So it can't be consistent on the x, it has to be consistent in the y. So that means we have y equals k. That's the type of line that is, okay? Or a zero slope line. Now the other one, undefined slope, think about it the same way. We have lots of rise, but zero run. So starting at a point, we rise a lot, but we don't run. So we have lots of y, but no x. So we just go up. That is all about a single type of x, right? We don't change the x any. So that's an x equals k, or an undefined slope. Okay, so that's kind of our first little introduction to points and slopes.